Hey everybody, I'm in my kitchen today. We are talking about meal planning. I'm going to take you through my process, what I do monthly, weekly, to plan out the meals for my family of 5, and to save my sanity. Let's get started.
Okay, so this is my system, and I recently purchased this Mead 5-star notebook. I got the idea from Kristen Kramer, and it's like a binder, but I used to have all my recipes in the this like accordion file thing, and it just was getting too big. So I saw her video, and I was like, okay, I'm going to try to do that. So basically, I have a template for my breakfast when I'm giving my kiddos, and then I plan out my month and the weeklies. So this is a printable that I did purchase from carryl.com. I'll link that in the description box below, but you don't need to purchase a specific meal plan, weekly plan printable. You could even just use loose leaf paper. You could print out a free calendar, but I like this one because it had the weeks on the side and then it gave a list on the other side. And then these are just notes that I made about what I should be thinking about when I'm planning my meals for my husband and I. We're trying to eat a little bit healthier. I've got some loose leaf pages, and then here starts the folders. And I just thought this was funny. This is a local store, and I gave it to my kids to say like, hey, what would you like for groceries? And they just circled everything. They circled the chips, they circled the ice cream, some berries. And we got one kid who does eat produce. But it was just so funny. I was like, I got to show this, and I'm going to save this for when you guys are older and you have to make meals for your own family. So this section here is kind of just like probably a drop zone for recipes, stuff that I saw that I just pulled out of a magazine, things that I have to file. And then I have my tabs, and I have them organized according to mostly my template of what I cook for dinner during the week. So this section is chicken, because Wednesdays I usually do chicken and a side. I had so many chicken recipes. They're like bursting out of this pocket protector, as you can see. The next section is breakfast. We usually do breakfast for dinner once a week, definitely. We usually do them on Thursday nights. And we all love breakfast. So whether that's pancakes, a casserole. The next section is crock pot or comfort. And so some of that stuff's in the slow cooker. Some of it's like freezer meals. These are things that my husband has really liked for his lunches. Things like healthy meals for meal prep ideas, that sort of thing. We used to get HelloFresh. We used to get Every Plate, and we don't anymore. And then this section is for snacks. So I wanted to beef up my after school snacks routine. So again, like if I see something in a magazine or I see something on Pinterest, this is another kind of snacks go-to list. That was an idea from my kids' preschool last year of what they could bring in for a snack, and I just thought that was kind of a good idea to hold on to. And then the next section is pizza. We always do pizza on Friday nights, whether we order, whether I make it, whether it's frozen. And sometimes like I'll just get a frozen for my kiddos, and then me and my husband will make a little bit of a fancier pizza. And now this section is another hodgepodge little section. So things that didn't fit into those categories, or some other things that I just want to try. So this is still a work in progress, but it does seem to be working out better than before. It's all accessible. This is an amazing Play-Doh recipe. Again, from my kiddos preschool. And then these are blank copies of the meal planning sheets. So that is the binder. It is a little bit stuffed. She's a thick girl. But I'm also trying to go through a lot of these recipes. So I did, when I transferred them from the file folder plastic thingy into this, I really tried to go through to say like, okay, we're really not going to eat this. This has too many ingredients. This has stuff I'm not going to use, that kind of thing. So I'm still trying to make my way through a lot of these recipes. This was another idea that I was looking at as far as things I could go to if I wanted to change up my routine and my template. And then this was the first year that I made a breakfast menu that didn't really change. I have that in the description box if you're interested. I did make that as a printable. And now it looks like I'm ready to start. So I'm going to grab my monthly. We're planning the meals for September. This is what I did at the beginning of this month. And I'm going to take out one of the weekly pages. And then I'm going to start to plan. I've got my monthly blank calendar, so I need to fill that in first. But what I start with is my main planner. So this is my ERIN CONDREN life planner hourly layout that I just switched to in September. I'll leave a video up in the cards, but I'm loving this so far. I usually start with what's going on for the month. So this will change sometimes if I have to add things or things get canceled, but basically that's my reference point to start to say, all right, which night are we going to be out of town, or like which night are the activities? Do I have to switch anything around? Are we having a birthday party? Is there a holiday? That sort of thing. So what I'm going to do now is just fill in the calendar. I'm starting with just filling in the dates, making sure they're on the right days. I've done that before where I put the wrong numbers on the wrong day, so make sure you're double checking that. But then once it's all filled in, I'm going to go through and fill it in with my template as far as the easy things that I know. So I'm writing my template on the bottom, and then I already know that Friday is pizza. I already know that Thursday is breakfast. I already know that those sort of things. And then I'm going to start to reference my calendar that's in my planner to just note any of the things, like I'm going to be out of town a couple days, and just kind of going from there. It takes a little bit of time to get in a groove, because sometimes I kind of like bop out all over the place, but mostly it's the same thing. Just filling it in, seeing where I need to add. Oh, also my kiddos do choose what they would like to make for dinner. They're supposed to help me. We're getting better into that, but they are looking at cookbooks and they're looking at recipes, and I'm trying to just get them to increase their knowledge of food a little bit, getting a little bit less picky-uni, but it's working out so far. They like it when it's their turn to choose, and my oldest is very interested in cooking, so it's just kind of like a fun little tradition that does seem to be working, and it takes it off my plate of another meal that I need to figure out, so it's all good. Okay, so now what it looks like I'm doing here is I'm kind of going through my recipes. So sometimes I already know ahead of a time going into the next month to say like, okay, I definitely want to make this. I want to make this. We didn't get to making this meal that I planned for this month, so I want to make it next month. Sometimes I make a list of it on like a little notepad, or sometimes it's just in my head because I can't stop thinking about the recipe. But usually then I'm going through these sections that I've mapped out here, and my section of new or to try or things that I have to file, and I'm looking for another recipe to fill in within the template. So here I'm looking for like chicken things. I might be looking for different taco recipes because we love tacos, looking for different crock pot things, but that's why I wanted to make this system more accessible. Instead of like rifling through that accordion file, I was able to just go to the specific section in this binder, check it out, find something, and then go from there. Okay, now once I've got my meal filled out completely, all the recipes are there. I've got my template. I have my recipes that are on a physical paper, like printed out. I hate looking at them on my phone, so I will still print them out, even if they're from Pinterest or something. Those are in a dedicated spot. Those recipes I'm going to hold on to until the end of the process for the month is I stick them in a folder, and that folder lives in my kitchen so that I can access it when I'm ready to cook, when it's dinner time. So now the next step in the process is going from monthly to weekly. So it's kind of like big to small. So basically I'm going to go through for each week, and I only go 1 week at a time. I fill in what the recipes are for the week, and then I write down all the ingredients that I need, and of course anything else that we need to restock in our house, things that don't necessarily need a recipe, but like the snacks that my kiddos like, whatever toiletries, that kind of thing. So the main monthly plan is kind of like a starting point, and it's fluid. I never stick 100% to it. So for that reason, I only plan 1 week at a time. So I plan every Friday is my meal plan day. I will go back to this main calendar. I will double check if anything else has changed for the upcoming for the upcoming week. And then I write down the meals for the week ahead, and breakfast, if I need to have stuff for lunches, dinner, whatever the snacks are that I'm thinking for after school, what's happening on the weekend, and then filling in the ingredients. I also have this little notebook meal planner thing that I got, I think, at Marshall's. So inside there's just 2 notepads that does have a weekly plan that's blank that I can fill out. And it has a grocery list on the side. So this lives in my drawer. And it is kind of just like a scratch pad sort of thing. So sometimes I'll write out the recipes on the week, kind of like how I'm doing on the bigger paper. I'll just kind of jot them down. I rip it off, and then I tape it onto the inside door cabinet so that it's my reference point. And then that little grocery list stays in my drawer. And again, if I'm in the kitchen and I'm like, okay, we ran out of syrup, we need syrup, I'll just write it down on that thing. So when I'm planning the meals and making my list during the week, I also come back to this little meal planner, and that helps me not forget anything and also just stay organized. So now I've got my meals listed on the week. My grocery list is all set. I have some notes on the back as far as prep. I cut it in half so that I just take the grocery list and then I'm going to order my groceries. I always usually do it through Walmart. Sometimes I do it through Tops, is our local grocery store too. And then, like you saw before, I take this weekly plan and then I usually tape it on the inside of my drawer so that I can reference it. I have a breakfast menu that's on my fridge. You saw that too. And then all of my recipes stay in the little pocket that's on the fridge or like next to the fridge so that I'm totally organized. So when it comes to dinner time later this week, every night I can say, okay, what are we making today? Do I need to prep anything ahead of time earlier in the day? Or, I'm ready to go. What am I making? That kind of thing. Every Friday is my day that I allocate for meal planning, and I will just come back to this calendar, reference it, check to see if anything has changed for upcoming activities, any of the things going on in our household, that kind of thing, if anything's going to change, or if we're not in the mood. Like, again, I plan this at the beginning of the month, so sometimes by the end of the month, I'm like, you know what, that doesn't sound good. We're going to switch it up. So I start the whole thing over, making the weekly plan, making the grocery list, ordering groceries for pickup on Sunday morning, usually, sometimes Monday, referencing with my big calendar, and then cutting it out, putting it up on my calendar, separating out the recipes if anything has changed, and then I'm good to go. And this has helped me so much because it's just taken a lot of things off my plate as far as okay, I already know I'm going to be making tacos. I already know I'm going to be doing pizza. I already know I'm doing breakfast, that kind of thing. So when I sit down to plan, even at the beginning of the month, it's so much easier. I hope you enjoyed today's video and you got some good tips and you were able to see what my process is from start to finish. Let me know in the comments if you meal plan or any other tips that you've got for meal planning. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.